We'll probably just start in a few minutes when you're ready.
Yeah, sure. I can pop it up right now. Can you see my screen? Yeah.
I guess since it's 12:02, we could start with the presentation and then the students can just pop into the...
Yeah, sure. So currently we have a student in the room. Is that Isaac? Is that a student?
I think so.
All right, okay. All right, okay, I might just get started. Hi, my name is Su Ng. I'm the regional manager for Southeast Asia at RMIT University in Melbourne, which is in Australia. So I will give you a brief overview of RMIT, and at the end of it, feel free to pop in any questions in the chat box. Okay. Okay, so just a bit about RMIT University. So RMIT was founded in 1887. It's actually one of the oldest universities in Australia. And it is really well known for programs like design, programs in engineering, technology, and enterprise. So just a bit of I guess a fact from one of our surveys that we did a couple of years ago. So we did a survey of all our students at RMIT. So RMIT has about 80,000 students in Melbourne, but we have campuses overseas in Vietnam. So we have 2 campuses in Vietnam. We also teach in Singapore and also in China. So the entire RMIT University, we have about 97,000 students. But just in Melbourne itself, we have about 80,000 students or so, and we did a survey of all these students, and about 70% of all our students came back and said what they want to do after they graduate. And many of them actually say that they want to be entrepreneurs, they want to start up their own business, commercialize their ideas. And RMIT is actually very focused on enterprise and helping our students achieve their goals of being like a startup business. So RMIT is actually very well known for that. And then in terms of like the rankings, so a lot of parents and students would look at rankings. We actually rank in the top 1% of the universities worldwide. So if you look at, say, for example, in art and design, we are number 1 in Australia and number 11 in the world. If you look at, programs architecture, we are number 21 in the world or 25 in the world, but number 3 or number 4 in Australia. And in terms of like business and engineering and IT, programs like media, we are usually ranked the top 100 or top 150 in the world. So we actually rank really, really well globally. And we have, just over 450 different programs for students to choose from. So a really wide range of programs for students to, depending on the interest to choose from. And we have, since we started in 1887, RMIT has produced, over 450,000 alumni living in 150 different countries. So I mentioned just now that we were founded in 1887, but RMIT became a public university in 1992. So back then, it started off as a working men's college, focusing on giving students really hands-on, really practical skills to ensure that they go out into the workforce and they can hit the ground running. And that sort of focus hasn't changed since 1887 all the way through to today. So RMIT is still a really focus. RMIT also, is really focused on industry partnerships to ensure that our students, whatever they learn, is really hands-on and very practical and very relevant to what industry wants. So one of the reasons why students choose to study at RMIT is also because of our location. So RMIT is located in Melbourne, in the heart of Melbourne CBD. So RMIT in Melbourne has 3 campuses. The main campus is actually in the CBD. So that's our biggest campus. And so, students studying like business, IT, media, architecture, design, they all will be studying on our city campus. So the building that you can see right in front of you on the screen is actually where the business school is. So that's building 80. So if students are studying business, they'll be spending most of their time in that building. So it's a really cool building. So Melbourne as a city is one of the most livable cities in the world, and it's also very multicultural. So it's very welcoming to students and migrants from all over the world. So with multiculturalism comes with food from all over the world as well. So there's a lot of food, a lot of cafes, restaurants surrounding the campus. So whatever food that students want to find, like say Malaysian food, Indonesian food, Italian food, really all kinds of food, you should be able to find them in Melbourne. So this is another picture of one of our buildings in the city, on the city campus. So that's building 22. So this is also quite a significant building in Melbourne. So we call this the green brain building just because of the, green stuff at the top that looks like a brain. But on the ground floor is actually where we have study at RMIT. So it's a front-facing center for the public and also for prospective students to pop in and ask any questions they want. And as you can see, that's a tram going past the building. So all this stretch all the way back, so we have about 7% of the real estate in Melbourne CBD. So that's our city campus. So transport is really convenient. So there's a lot of trams that goes past many of the buildings at RMIT, and also a lot of trains nearby, buses, so it's really accessible. Further down the road is the design hub. So as I mentioned, RMIT is also very well known for architecture. So any students doing architecture or landscape architecture or interior design will be studying in this building. So this is a design hub. Whether you're doing a bachelor's, or you're doing, after they go on to a master's or PhD, all your lecturers, your academics, your tutors, everybody will be in this building. So you spend a lot of time seeing your other classmates, your course mates, and also your academics for your program in this building. So I mentioned that we have 3 campuses in Melbourne. So the main one was in the city. We also have the Brunswick campus. So another area that RMIT is really well known for is in fashion. So RMIT has fashion design, fashion enterprise. All the students who study anything related to fashion will be studying on the Brunswick campus. So Brunswick campus is about 15 minutes from the city. So if you catch a tram, it's only 15 minutes up north from the city. So it's along Sydney Road, which is a bustling road that has like cafes, restaurants, lots of shops. So it's really convenient, lots of transport. It's a really vibrant part of Melbourne. And the other campus that we have is the Bundoora campus. So Bundoora campus is about an hour, just over an hour north of Melbourne CBD. So you can see just an hour away from the CBD is a lot more spacious and very green. So lots of trees, greeneries, and a lot more space for us to have our facilities and equipment. So this campus houses our students who are doing sort of biomedical science, medical sciences, health sciences, nursing, and also some of the third and final year engineering students will be on the Bandura campus. The reason being that, as compared to Melbourne CBD, so city campus, there's a lot more space for our facilities and our equipment out on the Bandura campus. And on this campus, there's actually on-campus accommodation as well. So many of our students choose to live on campus if they are out on the Bandura campus for their program. So this is just a quick video of that shows a bit about our campus. So hopefully it will play. Okay, so hopefully that will give you an idea of what RMIT looks like, our 3 different campuses. Right from the start, I think I mentioned that we have over 450 different programs for students to choose from. So I mentioned some of the ones like architecture through to biomedical sciences. Obviously, we offer many of the different business programs like, say, international business. One of the ones that is really popular these days is digital business, all the way through to like entrepreneurship, logistics, marketing, management. So it's a really wide range of business programs, and business is really popular with many of our Malaysian students as well. And then we have programs in things like, communication, if your students are interested in film studies. I think you may know there's a director, James Wan. I think he was born in Malaysia and he's from Malaysia. So he's an alumni of RMIT. So if you have seen movies like Saw or Aquaman, that's directed by James Wan. So he studied media at RMIT. And then we have, all the different kinds of design programs like communication design, animation. These are really popular programs with students, and all the way through to the IT and, fashion, engineering, sciences, etc. So if you're interested, just jump onto RMIT's website. You should be able to see the full list of our programs. So I mentioned that apart from Melbourne, RMIT also has campuses offshore. So RMIT is really a very global university. So apart from having 3 campuses in Melbourne, we have 2 campuses in Vietnam. So we have a campus, it's a full campus, so it's a full-blown campus in Ho Chi Minh City, and also one in Hanoi. So we do get a lot of students doing exchange from Melbourne to Vietnam and vice versa. We also teach in Singapore, there's RMIT Singapore, and then we teach that at Singapore Institute of Management, so SIM. And also we teach in places like China, and we also have a research center in Barcelona in Spain. So students can do, really exchange anywhere they want. And we have a lot of exchange opportunities for students who want to go to, say, North America, or go to Europe, or go to anywhere in Asia. So we do encourage our students to take the opportunity to go on exchange. If not, then they can go on like short-term study tours or intensive study tours, where they don't have to spend a whole semester or whole year offshore, overseas. They can spend, say, 2 weeks or 4 weeks and do intensive overseas study tours. So maybe, say, we have a group of students, 10 or 15 students go to Germany, and then they study for 2 weeks intensively, and then they can gain credit towards their program when they come back to Melbourne. So that's a really good opportunity to get some overseas experience as well. So I mentioned just now that RMIT is very industry focused. So many of our programs, actually all of our programs have what we call work integrated learning. So you can see work integrated learning. So there's a few different forms of work integrated learning. So many of the assignments and the projects that we give our students are designed in consultation with our industry partners or companies. So I mentioned that Melbourne so our campus is in the middle of Melbourne. Melbourne is the second largest city in Australia. So apart from Sydney, Melbourne is the second largest. And we have a lot of local businesses, so Melbourne businesses, Australian businesses, a lot of multinational companies are all located in Melbourne. So our students have the chance to interact with many of our industry partners. And one way that they do that is through their projects. So many of the projects that they do are given to us by our industry partners. And our industry partners also get to listen to our students present to them with the projects and also give them feedback. So that's one part. The other one is that many of our programs have internships embedded into the program. So our students can take the opportunity to do placements and get some real experience. So you can see that in terms of like industry connections and partnerships with employers, we are ranked number 4 in Australia. And just in 2019, our students undertook 11,698 work integrated learning placements. So they did that many placements with nearly 3,800 different industry partners. So these are all the some of the companies that we work with. So if students are interested in, like say, working for the airlines, they can do a placement at Qantas, or they do like say engineering, they go into Boeing. If you're interested to work for banks, they can go to National Australia Bank. Then the big fours like Deloitte and EY, etc. So there's a lot of opportunities for our students to do that. So this is Molly Young. Molly was one of our students who did communication design at RMIT. So as part of the communication design program, she has to do design studies and do her placements at a design studio as part of her program. So it's really through these placements that students are able to work with professional clients and also respond to feedback that is given by clients. So this really helps our students build up their resume and also prepare them for what they wish to do after they graduate. So it is a really so the programs at RMIT, they are really hands-on. So if you are good at learning while doing, then RMIT will be a good university for you. So apart from all the academic stuff, we do provide a lot of support services for our students as well. So I'll talk a bit about accommodation later on, but we have career advice, which is in the form of RMIT Job Shop. So the Job Shop is like a career center where we have different career advisors there. So they help you anything from, say you are at RMIT studying and you want to look for a part-time work, but you have never worked in Australia. So you need some extra help, say, to put together your application, your resume, how you apply for a job in Australia is probably quite different from, say, when you look for a job or apply for a job in Malaysia. So say, for example, your resume or your CV, in Australia, you don't put in your photograph, you don't put in your date of birth, you don't put in your age, because you don't put in anything that will allow employers to discriminate you. So it's a bit different from Asia, where normally many resumes you see like photographs of the applicant, but that's a no-no in Australia. So the career advisors will help students with that. And many of our students, especially international students who have never worked in Australia, they get really nervous when they have to go for interviews, whether it's for the part-time work or they are taking up extra internships where they have to go for interviews, or they're looking for graduate positions. So our career advisors actually do a lot of role plays, and they really help to build the confidence of our students so that they can do well and show the best of themselves at interviews. And also things like we have different workshops for all our students, whether international or domestic. Things like, we have like LinkedIn profile workshops where these days when you look for a job in Australia, many of the employers will look you up on LinkedIn and see what you have done previously. So we help students create like a really professional looking LinkedIn account, LinkedIn profile, and also help students with like professional photographs. So instead of, getting students to do like a selfie, which doesn't look very professional on LinkedIn, we actually get professional photographers to take really good pictures of our students to really help them as much as we can to help them gain or land the job that they wish to get into. So apart from that, there's also services like counseling, so personal confidential counseling. There's a medical center on campus. So, if students need, to see a doctor or they wish to see, say, a personal counselor, they can do that on campus. So at this moment, because of COVID-19, all our teaching have been transitioned onto online teaching, online studying. So, but even then, we are still providing the support services that we have been giving, pre-COVID. So things like, the study support hub, where if a student has done their assignments or written an essay and they really need someone to take a look and make sure that they're on the right track, our learning advisors can do that. And all the different support services like math learning drop-in centers, like chemistry, or even just general study skills, we are still continuing to provide those support services to our current students. Okay, so just a bit about accommodation. So many students will ask, where do I live when I study in Melbourne? So where you live will depend on where you study. So obviously, if you are studying on the main campus in the city, you will most likely choose to live around this, the campus, which is in the city, or you choose to live somewhere close to the city. So that will depend on, where your program is taught. Many of our students will opt to stay in purpose-built student accommodation. So if you have been to Melbourne, you would have seen a lot of like high-rise buildings, and those are only just dedicated to students. So buildings like, providers like Urban Nest or Uni Lodge or Ateria. So these are big accommodation providers where they run, they have the entire property just for students. So everything is fully finished, everything is provided for, and students can just, move in with their suitcase and get set up straight away. Or if they choose to live a bit further from the city, which means that the rent will be a bit cheaper as well, they can choose to go into like a share house or rent an apartment to share with other students. So it's really up to students where they wish to live. So you can just hop onto our accommodation website to look at the different options. So apart from studying, it's not all about studying. Going to university, the fun thing is to make friends, meet people that you probably would never get a chance to meet back in your home country. And the best way to meet new friends or meet, students from all over the world. So Australian students or students from, say, Brazil, or say students from China, or really anywhere in the world. The best way to do that is to join a club or society. So have a think about, what hobbies you have or what you want to learn. And then that way, you can join a club and meet new people and really make the best use of your time at RMIT. So just a bit about the important dates. So in Australia, at RMIT, the academic year is split into two. So you have semester 1 and semester 2. And semester 1 usually starts sometime in February or late February, early March, and ends sort of in June. And then you have your winter break, which is about a month, and then you go on to semester 2, where you start sometime mid to late July, and then you finish up at the end of November, where you sit the exams, and then after that will be your summer holidays. So this is just to give you an idea of the timings, because it might be different from the universities in Malaysia. And just quickly about the entry requirements for Malaysian students, I think Lodge teaches like IGCSE and A levels. So you can get the entry requirements from the program website. So I'll show this to you very quickly in a bit after I've run through the next few slides. So for students who are interested in scholarships, RMIT offers scholarships for students from Southeast Asia. So we do offer a $10,000 one-off scholarships for Southeast Asian students, or including Malaysian students. So as long as you are an international student studying in 2021 in an associate degree or bachelor's program, you can apply for either the Academic Excellence Scholarship, which is open to students who are studying any discipline, any study area, or you can apply for the STEM Scholarship, is specifically for students doing science, engineering, mathematics, or any of the computer science programs. So you first need to have an offer from RMIT, and then you can put in a scholarship application. So the scholarship application is a really simple application form that asks you things like, just tell us a bit about yourself, and also why you make a good student ambassador for RMIT. So this is just, if you need to contact me, feel free to jump online, and we do live chat with students as well. Or if you have any questions about your application or about RMIT, you can also speak to one of the staff from MMS, one of our education advisors from MMS, like Elaine. She'll be more than happy to help you out. So that's it for me. I might quickly, before we open up for Q&A, let me just give you a quick look. Hang on, this one. On the one of the program pages. So say, if you're interested in business, then you can go in and have a look at the business requirements. So if the quickest way is just type in RMIT on Google, RMIT say business, or RMIT international business, or RMIT design, you should be able to find the program page. So just quickly, this is how all the program pages will look like. First thing to remember to do to ensure that you get the right information is click on international under student type. So that way you get to see like the duration, where you're based, or this says that you are on the city campus, and then the tuition fees annually in Australian dollars, and how many intakes there are a year. So most programs are available both in February and in July. Some programs are only available in February. So many of the design programs are available only in February. Excuse me, but apart from that, most of them are available in both semesters. So you can have a look through, like, watch different YouTube videos about, why study RMIT, why study international business at RMIT. Say, for example, this international business program, you can choose to do a second business major apart from international business, or you can choose to do like a minor. Really depends on your interest. Or if you think, in the future, I want to go overseas and set my own business, I need to learn a second language or third language, you can do that in the program as well. So you can look at, how would you learn, what kind of industry connections we have, different international opportunities. You want to see what the program structure looks like. So if you think, I want to do a second major, what second major can I do apart from, doing international business? You can do a second major in, say, logistics or marketing. You can do, if you don't want to do a second major, you can do a minor instead. You can even do things like blockchain minors these days. So have a look on our website. The bit that I want to show you here is the study plan. So sometimes it's really hard to decide what you want to study. You see, Bachelor of Business, but you think, but what do I really study in international business? So the best way to do that, to know what exactly you'll be studying, is to click on the view plan. It takes you to the study plan. And you can see, okay, so these are all the subjects, all the courses that I'll be doing for the next 3 years. Okay, and all these red ones means that you have to choose them. It's compulsory, so there's no option. So you have to make sure that you have to like the compulsory courses. Okay, because if you have electives or different minors that you can choose from, obviously you can choose the subjects that you're interested in doing. But for the compulsory courses, you don't really have a choice. So you have to make sure that you like what you have to do. Okay, so you can click on, say, international trade and have a look at the course description. Or you can click on the detailed course guide to look at the topics, so exactly what you'll be doing in this particular course. Lastly, to show you entry requirements. So if you click on study location, if you click on Malaysia, and then say if you're doing A-levels, then you can see, okay, the minimum requirements to get into international business is a minimum of CDD. Okay, so that's what you need to get into the program. So you can play around with other different programs. At RMIT, we also have the Bachelor of Business, International Business Applied, which is a 4-year program. So if you see the applied, any program that has a bracket says applied and it's 4 years, it means that it's actually a 3-year program. But in the 3rd year, instead of studying, you go and do your work placement for 1 year. So this means that you have a full year of work experience in the company before you return to RMIT to finish off your last year. So by the time you graduate, on your resume, you will have 1 year of full-time work experience. So that will really help you when you go out to look for a job. So have a look through our website, and if you have any questions, please feel free to let me know in the chat. I think that's it for me. Anybody have any questions that you want to ask? Sorry, I think I spoke really quickly. If Isaac is a student, Isaac, you can ask a question.
Anyone have questions for Sue, or maybe if you're shy, you can contact Elaine or email Sue.
So I think Elaine has attached her business card in the chat. So yeah, Isaac, feel free to contact Elaine if you want to find out how to apply. Or as I mentioned, you are more than welcome to contact me as well. So let me put up my screen again. So yeah, feel free to send me an email, or you know, we do live chat at RMIT as well. So for students who have any questions and you just want to chat and don't really want to call or email or do a video chat, feel free to contact me that way as well. I think we have another student here, Moses. Isaac, Moses, if you're too shy, you can just pop into the chat box and let me know what you're interested in studying when you go to university. And I can let you know if we have a suitable program for you. Oh, no questions. Okay, that's very straightforward. Okay. Really, I guess in this day and age, a lot of information is actually available online. So I think it's just a matter of going through them, taking a look and see. And what's really useful is sometimes just watching the YouTube videos, because with some of the YouTube videos, you can actually learn a lot, and the information it's a lot easier to understand and absorb than, you know, trawling through like all the different web pages. So you might want to try just having a look on YouTube. Let me see. So let me see if I can share my screen. So on any of the RMIT pages, yeah, if you scroll all the way down, you should be able to see all the different icons. So if you're interested to, just watch a few videos, feel free to jump onto YouTube. And really at the top, you see there's all the different headings. So if you're interested in, obviously just now we mentioned admissions, or you want to see, okay, so if I finish this particular program, what kind of jobs can I do, or where can I work? You can have a look. And some of the programs like say engineering, or if you're studying accounting, have things like accreditation or professional recognition, or even programs like nursing and teaching. So you can get the information under the professional recognition and accreditation page. Some programs like design, say like, for example, in animation or games design, or say communication design, they all have extra selection tasks that students have to fulfill. So say, for example, if we go into RMIT animation and interactive media, so you see the first one. So you realize, oh, it all looks very similar. But if you go down to the admissions requirements, so same thing, you get to see the location, you can choose Malaysia, and you can look at, oh, so it's the same entry requirements as international business. But the difference is, if you look under selection task for all other international students, it says that you have to complete a pre-selection kit. So the pre-selection kit is basically like an additional requirement, like for us to see if you are, if you are suitable to, study design at RMIT. So you will see things like, getting you to write an applicant statement. So tell us, why you want to study, say, animation, and what kind of work has, or what kind of, stuff like film or books or culture has influenced your work. And you also need to sort of like provide your folio. So, it says here, like, say, for example, provide up to 12 images of your own work and that showcase your creativity. So if you're interested to study business, I don't know if anyone is, then you really have to present your really creative work, because the academics, they really want to see how creative you are. I mean, all the different technical skills, like, whether you can use a software or whether you can draw really well, a lot of that can be taught, but creativity is something that we can't teach you. So our academics put a lot of emphasis on making sure that, the students that we get are really creative, and then we can harness that and teach you the technical skills and knowledge to really help develop you professionally. So you can, look at the different selection kits. So as I mentioned, everything is available or provided on our website for you to take a look at. And even things like the fee summary, and also what kind of other costs, things like overseas student health cover that's compulsory for any students on a student visa, and things like the cost of living in Melbourne, how much roughly would it cost to live in Melbourne. And obviously, just like I mentioned, the scholarships, the link is via the scholarships section as well. So it should be hopefully quite easy to get through our websites. Okay.
Maybe there are no questions at this point.
Yeah,
Maybe
no,
when
that's okay.
you've had to think about it, they'll probably get back to you.
Sure, that's fine. Have students who are very shy these days.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
That's okay. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, so if there are no questions for either Elaine or Sue, I will end this meeting.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Ivan. Thank you, Caroline. Thanks, Elaine. Good to see
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks, Isaac and
Thank you.
Moses. All right, take care. Have a good weekend.